This is Michael Gerace with Michelangelo's Plumbing. It is September 26, 2019. We're at 1042 1042 Meadowbrook Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90019, performing a waste line inspection through the 3-inch ABS plastic cleanout in the small crawl space area on the left-hand side of the building toward the rear of the building. So we're going to begin running our camera now and take a look at the waste lines out to the sewer tie-in, the mainline clean out at the front of the house. Okay, so we are going to zero out our camera right now, and zero out our camera, and then we're going to begin running out. Okay, running into the ABS plastic clean out. We have a lot of debris in there. So far we have ABS plastic piping, which portions of it, or maybe even all of it, no, then we transition right away to cast iron piping. We have a little bit of a separation right there, but it's still lined up pretty decent. It's just because of the type of band that was used. We got a little bit of buildup and corrosion in the cast iron. So far, doesn't look terrible. Getting a little bit more buildup in certain areas, but again, doesn't look terrible. Does appear to be an older, possibly original cast iron, but still intact. Still intact. Now we have some serious rutting right here, up underneath. See, as we drop in,
what's rutting?
We have a rut, which, take a look. I'll show you. I'm going to pause for a moment. So we got some rutting in there, which the piping is a little bit thinner in the rutted areas. We don't see holes through the piping. We don't have root intrusions through the piping at this point, but it is thinner. So we're running out now. We're running out toward the ABS plastic. Now, we get to this point, we do have root intrusion, some root intrusion on the left-hand side, and we're going to pause and we're going to go locate that area. That area may be the transition to the vitreous clay outside in the driveway area on the right-hand side of the house. So we're going to go and locate that. We've also got some root intrusion coming in on the right and left side, both sides of the piping. And we got a little break right here. As you can see, we got a hole in the piping at that point on the right-hand side down at about the 5 o'clock area. So we're going to pause and we're going to go locate this area. Okay, we've located this area at approximately 3 foot 2 inches deep at the right rear corner of the property. And now this is heading down the driveway going toward the front and going to tie into that ABS plastic clean out.
So it's clay over there to the ABS plastic.
Yes, it's clay. So we're going to begin pushing in and take a look at the rest of the clay line. There's our turn. And we have a pretty good sized crack all the way around the pipe from about the 9 o'clock area to about the 2 o'clock area. That crack. And we're at about 45 feet. That's the crack and that's the joint on the outside. So we're going to run in some more. We're not going to try and locate that one right now. We'll take a look at the rest of the line, and if need be, we'll mark that area. We have some more root intrusion on the right and the left hand side, just up at about 3 feet further than that last joint at 48 feet. We have another large crack all the way around the clay piping. This is the joint on the outside, and then that's the crack inside. And we have root intrusion growing in on the right hand side and the left hand side.
Is this on the driveway?
In the driveway. We have another crack that goes quite a ways around the pipe. We can't see exactly how far because of the roots, but we have roots growing on the right hand side and also on the left hand side. And the crack is just inside the crack. Here's the joint, the outside of the joint, and there's the crack.
Yeah.
That crack goes all the way around. So we have a pretty large crack going all the way around that joint as well. We have root intrusion in this joint. More than likely we have a crack. We can't see anything here. It might be on the top. Hard to see because we're only getting the bottom part of the pipe more than anything. I'm going to go on in some more. That joint appears to be in fair condition. Small crack on the right hand side up at about the 12 o'clock to about the 2 o'clock area. Right there. Small crack. No root intrusion in that joint. Next joint we have quite a bit of root intrusion, and we have a pretty major crack from about the 6 o'clock area going up toward the top. I can't see exactly how far, but we got roots on the left hand side and the right hand side of the pipe. Next joint, we have a minor crack at about the 5 o'clock area going up around toward the 1 o'clock area in the hub, but again not terrible on that joint. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. We have another crack from about the 6 o'clock area running up toward the 3 o'clock area, and we have roots on both sides of the pipe. We have root intrusion, smaller root intrusion at about the 2 o'clock area. Don't see any cracks in that joint. The roots are growing right through the joint itself. Then we have another crack at about the 5 o'clock area running toward the 10 o'clock area. Minor, very minor roots in that joint. We got a fairly substantial offset. You can see the whole face of the pipe at the top, but you don't see anything at the bottom. It's shifted, or you see a little bit at the bottom. It's shifted a little bit. Root intrusion in this joint on the right and left hand side. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. That joint has a minor crack from about the 4 o'clock area to about the 3 o'clock area here, but again, not terrible, no root intrusion, or very minor root intrusion on that left side and right side. That joint appears to be in fair condition. That joint has some minor root intrusion at about the 5 o'clock area. That joint appears to be in fair condition. That joint appears to have some root intrusion up toward the 7 o'clock to about the 11 o'clock area, and there's a substantial crack that is going up from about the 7 o'clock area that's heading off to the side. That joint appears to be in fair condition. That joint has a little bit of root intrusion, not much of anything. Don't see any major cracks in that side, in that joint. That joint's got some minor root intrusion off to the right, but again, don't see any major cracks in that joint. That joint's got some very minor roots. The joint still appears to be in pretty fair condition. That joint's got a very minor crack down there by about the 7 o'clock area, but very minor. Still appears to be in pretty fair condition. Has some roots coming in at about the 9 o'clock area and the 3 o'clock area, but minor again, not terrible. We have a large crack going from about the 10 o'clock area to the 3 o'clock area, all the way around. We have root intrusion at about the 7 o'clock area, the 9 o'clock area, and the 5 o'clock area in this joint. Has some minor root intrusion at the 3 o'clock area and the 7 o'clock area in that joint. Same thing in this one. We have some minor root intrusion at about the 7 to 8 o'clock area and the 5 o'clock area. We have a crack going around from about the 6 o'clock area to about the 9 o'clock area in that joint. Minor, not terrible, not much root intrusion in that joint. Making our turn. Now we have some heavier root intrusion at about the 7 o'clock area, and I can't really see much of the joint because we're in the turn. And then we transition to our mainline clean out at the front of the house. So we're going to pause at this point.
20 minutes.
Okay, we're going to pause
think
our
it's-
recording for
I think
now.
So
We're going
this
to
is under
pull
the
out of the
house.
line, and we're going to take a look at the line. We've got the buyers with us. We're just going to pull back. We've already seen all the joints. We're just going to show the buyers.